right, I've got a boring head in there now and got it where it's just touching. So I'm going to advance. There's 10, 20 on there. All we've got is 50 thousandths to get out of there. 51 thousandths. And I'm pretty sure this boring head is measuring on the radius, not the diameter. So we're going to take it real easy here and then get a measurement. All right, let's go about 10 more on the dial. Honestly, I don't remember if this measures on the radius or on the diameter. All right, I've got, like I said before, I've got the DRO set, and I'm going to bring this out and get a little measurement on it. And the largest gauge pins I have go up to a 1/2 inch as well. So remember, this is going to serve as a gauge pin. That's showing 13 millimeter, about 510 thousandths. So that's saying we've got a little less than 40 thousandths left to go. Again, I'm only going to take 10 at a time off the dial though. All right, so that says 53, so if we take 10 more, there should be 20 on the diameter and should be pretty close. I think there might be a chip down in there. Put a spring pass on that and that will be good. I'm going to give it just about 1/1000th on the boring bar. Oh yeah. All right, I'm going to do some deburring on this and then we'll go over to the brake and install it and determine where we need to put our hole for the handle. All right, I'm over here at the brake now, and I've put the handle back on it over here on the right-hand side. And what we're making is a piece to go in here to put a handle on this end. So let's take this bracket off that's on there now. See if we can get it off without taking this arm completely off. There's going to be a key in there too, so hopefully I can catch it before it falls on the floor. So this is the piece that was in there. Very much like the other one, except it doesn't have the extension out here for the handle. So here's the piece we've just made. We'll see if it's going to fit. It has to go over the hole, and then, yep, goes right in there. Now, what I'm going to do is take this level, and over here on the other side, I'm going to pull this handle up and plumb it, just so it's in a plumb position now. Fairly close. And then I want to come over here on this piece and find the top of it. I can still see my center point. And that should be the approximate location of the handle. If I don't get it exactly on that, it's not a big deal. It just means this handle might be a degree or two higher or lower than the handle on the other side. But I think that's a good enough mark. We'll carry this back over to the mill, get it set up at the proper angle, and drill and tap our hole. All right, I put a little die cam on here now, and that mark that we made over there, I transferred it down here to this piece and up there too, so I can mark it and find the center of this. Now we're going to mount this over here on my fixture plate. It'd be much easier to mount it here on the bench than it will be on the while it's sitting in the mill. But I transferred that line so that I've got a, I'm not sure that you can see it on there, but I've got a scribe line down the center of that. I'm going to use my clamps now. We'll get this set in, and again, this is, if the handle is a degree or two off, it's not a issue whatsoever. So I'm going to eyeball this. Just going to get everything snug to start with. And I think 3 clamps will probably hold that sufficiently. Okay, next what we're going to do is determine the angle that this handle is and set this up in the vise on the mill at the proper angle, drill and tap that. I'll be using instead of metric on this, since I've got very limited metric resources, I'm going to be drilling this 3/8 drill and tap 3/8 3/8 excuse me. So I'm going to get set up in the mill. I'll turn you around. Okay, I've got the original handle and the mount for it clamped onto my plate now. I'm going to use my angle cube, and first thing I want to do is zero that on the mill vise. Get it plumb in this direction. All right. Now all we want to do is set the angle plate. See if the magnets will hold that. We're going to raise this up until it reads 0. That's less than a degree right there. Reading 0.7. Let's see if I can get a little more. There's 0.3. And now, just for the sake of it, see what that angle was. 12-degree angle. All right. Now, even though I marked this in the center, I'm going to offset this just a little bit. Well, let me look at it and see if I want to offset it in. Since it's only going to be a 3/8, I may not have to offset any to keep it from running off the edge. And only 12 degrees at that. I think I'm going to go right on the marks in the center there. I'm going to lock the table down right there. But instead of trying to use a center drill on there, I'm going to put an end mill in the chuck, let's see, with a 3/8, and that'll give us a good flat surface to do our drilling on. It's not the steadiest in the world or most rigid, but that's got a good flat surface on now that we can do our drilling. We're going to go with the tap drill for 3/8 16. I'm going to set my Z-axis DRO because I want to get at least a ½ inch of thread in there. All right, that's 0.6 deep. A rapid tap. All right, I didn't think it would tap in there, so let me go get my tap wrench. Don't know if I'll have room for the tap guide or not, but we'll know in just a moment. Nope. Okay. Get it started straight. I'll just use one of these end mills that I use the motorized spindexer on and turn the point on it. All right. Now we'll come back with the bottom tap. All right, there's the bottom. Okay, so I think the next thing we need to do, I'm going to use a ½ inch rod for the handle. I'll get that set up over there in the lathe to turn the threads on to match this and also the threads to match the handle. For the handle, I'm going to use a piece of ½ inch rod. So we need to turn that down to a 3/8 and then tap for the hole we just drilled and tapped over on the mill. First thing I want to do is face off the end. And we tap that hole a ½ inch deep or 600 thousandths. So I'm going to put a mark on here at 600. And we want just a little under 3/8. So let's see what we got now. We got 435. So we'll take about 65 thousandths off. That'll give us about 370. $371, good enough. All right, let's give a little lead in for the for the die. And at the same time, we'll put just a little thread relief area in the back, even though we're going to tap up as close as we can. This is a hex die I'm using in here. I want to put my lead inside first. Well, I'm not sure if that's tapping or not. Nope. All right, I've got a different die in there now. I think well, it couldn't be any as dull as the other one. So we're going to try this now and see if it'll pull in. A 3/8 is right on the point, crossover point for me, between single point threading it and using a die. That did much better. All right, now let's turn the die around and thread it right on up to the shoulder. Okay, I think that's the 3/8 in. Threads cut. Looks like they're going to be kind of long though. goes on there just fine. All right, I'm going to turn this around and cut some 1/2 inch threads, and I think 1/2 inch, probably go with 7/16 in the other end. But I'll do that off camera and bring you back whenever we get ready to make the plastic handle itself out of this piece of Delrin. I decided while I had the 3/8/16 tools out, I'd go ahead and do that on both ends. So this end will go into the block that'll be mounted on there, and then this end is going to go into a handle. This is the handle off of the right side. We're going to use this piece of Delrin to try to replicate that. This one's a 1.1 diameter, and this is only 1 inch, but I think that'll be plenty fine for what we're doing. This was a faced end right here. So what I need to do is drill about 1.9 inches, 1.85 inches with the tap drill for the 3/8/16. I believe I will go ahead and put a starter hole in. Now I just got a little mark on the drill bit. So now I want to go in with a 1/2 inch drill. And if I went 1.8 on there, I only want to go about 1.25, 1.3 for the recess. So I got me a mark on that drill bit. And now we're ready to tap as deep down in there as we can reach. And this being Delrin, I believe I can start probably with the bottom tap and not have any issues at all. Let's see if I got enough tap. Okay. Well, I guess that hot Delrin just decided to seize on it. Now we're going to see if we can put a taper on this piece of Delrin like this has got. I'm going to get the taper, get the compound set up for that taper and bring you right back. Okay, as best I can measure this angle right here, it looks like about a 10-degree included angle. So I've got the compound set at 5 degrees and got it around, got the lathe in reverse, and I'm just going to kind of whittle away on this until it looks like it's about the same length, proportional to this one. I think I got my cross slide or my compound just a little bit tight right now. All right, that looks like it's cutting good. Let me put just a little witness mark. That'll be my original goal, and then we'll see from there. And I'm backing up about 40 thousandths, which is 20 thousandths depth of cut on the compound. I'm sorry, on the cross slide. Try about 60 now, which would be 30 thousandths. Nothing's going to break that chip, I don't guess. All right, I'm gonna make one more cut. See how close that comes to our mark. Remember, this piece is a little smaller diameter than the other one. I don't want to get too thin out here on this face. All right, that come out just a little beyond our mark. I'm going to try another cleanup pass. Just barely skimming it, maybe to smooth it off. All right, I feel good with that. Happy with that. Now we're going to cut it off to length. Need to get my compound cross slide set back up on the lathe. I usually leave mine set at about 30 degrees. That kind of puts the compound handle, seems to put it out of the way pretty good on this vise. I'm sorry, on this lathe. All right, all I'm going to do, I'm going to step over there to the bench and give myself a witness mark on here of where I need to cut it off. That's the same parting tool I was using earlier, and it is a little bit off center. So that may have been why I was getting so much chatter. All right, I'm gonna put just a little chamfer on the end of that. All right, we're gonna turn around to the bench and see where we are so far. All right, this is what we set out to replicate. 3 pieces. And here's what we wound up with. I think we're very close. Before it ever gets installed, this will get some bluing on it. I'll re-blue that as well. Probably put it in the kiln at about 600 degrees for 30-40 minutes and color it that way. For me, that seems to last better than the cold bluing liquid. But I still got to put the keyway in like this. But as I said, I don't have a broach. I'm going to have to make a broach to cut that keyway. So I think I'm going to conclude this video at this point. Next video, we'll make a broach and broach out this keyway and get this installed. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate the comments, thumbs up, and if you've not noticed, I'm very closely approaching 10,000 subscribers now, and I just can't, I can't comprehend that. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate every one of the subscriptions. I appreciate the comments, the thumbs up, and you know, even sometimes the comments aren't all that constructive, but I appreciate you stopping by the channel anyway. Hope you got a little bit out of this, work holding, turning, a little mill work, and we'll see you on the next video.